Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So about the Shankaracharyas, after Adi Shankaracharya, Shankaracharya became a title. Okay, and therefore the four mathas, the four religious institutions that he established, four primary disciples, carried on the lineage by appointing their successors. The purpose of every matha is to propagate, to promote, to uphold Sanatana Dharma and to spread Vedic teachings. As things stand today, there are many people who claim they are Shankaracharyas. And how that has happened is because Adi Shankaracharya visited many places in India. So there are so many Karnataka who will claim, because they have an ashram, that they are Shankaracharya. So Adi Shankaracharya visited our place. We have some tradition of teaching. Teaching, it could be anything. It may not necessarily be Vedanta. It may be Bhagavatam. It may be something. It may be Puranas also. But the title came to be associated, and because it's a lineage of teacher-student, so lot of people, there are many Shankaracharyas now. Okay, so as a title, the ones who are recognized by the traditional community is really only the four, and perhaps we can extend it to Kanchi. So now, what is their role? Okay, you know, the sannyasi of a matha. Sannyasi of a matha is twofold. One is teaching of Vedanta. The other is doing whatever is possible for loka sangraha, for the welfare of people. And perhaps there's another third, a threefold role, which is that of a religious head, an administrator, overall administrator of the institution. So a Shankaracharya, when I got as a title, so that sannyasi heading an institution has these three roles to fulfill. It is totally unlike the sannyasi in, let's say, Arshavidya parampara. Because most of us, or some of us, we don't have any ashrams, we don't have, administrative duties as such. And also in terms of loka sangraha, it is up to us, we respond to the needs of whichever is the community that we are engaging with. Whereas if you look at Sringeri Shankaracharya, he spent so much time in puja and upasana, because so many prayers, morning, afternoon, evening, he is doing for loka sangraha, for the welfare, for the prosperity, for the growth of people. That's the sankalpa. So sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, not only my community or only the Brahmin community, sarve, all people in the world. And therefore, their role is very important. Very important, because they are doing prayers for all of humanity on a daily basis. If we look at the current functioning of these Shankaracharyas, and at least in these 5 mathas, how much of Vedanta they are teaching in public, okay, that is a contentious issue. Why it is contentious is because they truly believe that Vedanta should only be taught to sannyasis. Okay, they are very, very clear about it. And only recently they are making allowances for some householders to attend, or for some classes to be live, or they are sannyasi disciples who have access to their audios, are uploading them. So the orthodox view, okay, I'm using the word orthodox, not traditional, because orthodoxy is a response in terms of protecting what is there, because you feel that certain thing is under threat. So the orthodox response is Vedanta only for sannyasi. Sannyasi is the adhikari for Vedanta. That's it. And therefore, what they do is they primarily teach sannyasis only the people who are initiated, because they are the ones who are eligible, they are the ones who are qualified, is their view. To what extent people across India follow the Shankaracharyas, I am not very sure. Okay, because I think that it is very difficult to generalize or to respond to that question. Because the question is, what is the, how important are the Jagat Gurus for us? So the Jagat Gurus are very important for us because they represent the lineage. So like for instance, all of you, all of us, we belong to Sringeri in terms of our parampara. So when we say belong to Sringeri, meaning we stand in that order of the Sringeri Acharyas. So therefore we have a lot of respect for anybody who occupies the Vyasa Pitha. And therefore we have reverence, we have respect, and we show that to the Acharya. In terms of access to the teachings, we may not have much access to Sringeri Acharya teachings, except for whatever is available, which is very minimal. Even if you were to go to meet him, he will bless you for sure. But if you ask him, you want to learn, etc., can you attend classes? He will say, no, you do you do anushtanam, you do japa, because of the belief that householders, they are not eligible. Okay, of course it's true. So therefore, the people who are grahasthas are involved with a lot of puja and prayers, and also being south. So part of it is also conditioning. Okay. So you may not understand what you say, but you just chant, and because you chant Rudram, you think you are very superior. Okay, so there is some sort of snobbery also operating there, in the name of being a devotee. The Jagat Gurus also do a lot for public welfare. So in terms of education, healthcare, there's a lot of funding provided. There's a lot of reaching out of their activities, etc. Then when you look across the country, it is not the Jagat Gurus who are popular because they are not really reaching out to the public in terms of wide scale teachings. Okay, it's there, it's limited to certain communities, to local communities, and there the reach is very wide. But there, if you're looking at the vast expanse, there are lots of teachers who are popular. So the Jagat Gurus are more important for people who follow, who understand, who have some sort of respect for Adi Shankaracharya. Majority of the people, they don't know, or they know he's one of the saints, matlab sant hai, so that's okay, and they will relate to someone else who is not a sannyasi. So the Murari Bapu, once upon a time Asaram Bapu, etc. Thousands of people, or the Kathakars, the people who will narrate lot of stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata. So when we are talking about majority, thousands of people listen to this. So for us, we show our support to the Jagat Gurus. Unfortunately, when there was an issue regarding the Kanchi Acharya, nobody came in support of him. The great Brahmin society, okay, so Brahmins, some Brahmins can be real cowards, and the great Brahmin society of Tamil Nadu, they didn't stand up for him. Very, very unfortunate. So how we relate, or what we do, is that we focus on the teaching. Okay, this is very important. We don't get lost with the personality, whoever it may be, whether it is a Shankaracharya or anybody. Our commitment is to knowledge, and by extension, then it becomes the person. And that's how the rishis bless us. That's the way. And so we serve the rishis with our commitment. And so we have a certain balanced perspective, regarding the acharyas, the Shankaracharya, Jagat Gurus, that we try and understand what they say. And if there are controversial issues, then we see that what we can do to support them, in a collective way, as Hindus. This is very important, because again, many Hindus are very cowardly, so they will not stand up in support of anybody, because of fear. Oh no, I don't want to be dragged in this, or I don't want to stick my neck out, etc. It is a ridiculous fear, but it is there. Because of our search for the infallible, we look up to them as role models. Okay. And the trust of many people gets affected when any teacher in a responsible position, does certain acts of adharma. And, like it's one more reason to appreciate Puja Swamiji, because I've just come back from this Arshavidya meet, and the Aradhana, we had the second anniversary puja, celebration of Puja Swamiji. Like, he did not allow a cult to grow around him. This is a very important thing. It is very rare. I mean, you have to just look around for that. And he didn't even name his organization as Dayananda. Could have, not a problem. Nobody would object to it. But it has always been Arshavidya. It is Arshavidya Peetham, it is Arshavidya Gurukulam, or whatever it is. And because the commitment is to Arshavidya, so the Vidya that has been passed down by the rishis, then where is the scope for a cult? There is no scope for it. And it's not about, okay, that I am saying, so that's why you have to do this. It's not there, you know. So we also have to be very careful that we don't get lost in this cult stuff. That, part of the reason we are very disappointed and hurt when some of these religious leaders are found to be involved in acts of adharma is because we have put them on a pedestal. Okay, pedestal meaning uh, respect is good, but you don't put people on such a pedestal because of your search for the infallible that once if there is some taint, then you are totally heartbroken, which is what happens to thousands of people. And it's even the religious leaders, some of them are to be blamed. I'm saying blame meaning they are responsible that they allow a cult following around them. They allow that, they encourage it, the devotees encourage it, everyone encourages it. And the person or the personality is never center stage in all of the teaching, never. We just allow the shastra to work its magic, that's all. So related to this thing, this question, why would, according to anyone, a grahastha not be eligible for knowledge? Because a grahastha has a lot of other priorities in life, and the mumukshutvam, the desire for moksha, may not really be there. May not really be there for the grahastha. Okay. Uh, because in many ways, if you see the limitations of artha, kama, and dharma, then it is believed to be a choiceless path. That how can you spend time and effort and resources on artha, dharma, kama if moksha is so important to you? That's the position that a lot of the orthodox people take. Even if you go to, I've spent some time in Kailas Ashram. So Kailas Ashram in Rishikesh, considered a traditional, very traditional institution, Matha. They only teach sannyasis. There may be maximum 5 or 10 people who will come to the class. Early morning, braving the Rishikesh cold or the heat, depending on the weather. So sadhus from all over will come. There are about 90 of them, 90, 85, 90. All shades of saffron are there. May or may not be sannyasis, but brahmachari, you're living a same lifestyle, you're living a sadhu life. They come, and then there is a class, and you have to take special permission. You cannot just sit in the class. Only if you are a sadhu from around, you can sit, which shows that you are committed to this, that moksha is so important to you that it is not just one of the things you do, that this is all that really matters to you. So a lot of traditional examples given, like your head is on fire, hair is on fire, etc., etc. So that is the view that a lot of the orthodox and also very, very traditional setups take, that a grahastha is not really eligible. Okay, we don't take that stand. We don't take that stand. The stand we take is that a grahastha is eligible for the knowledge. It is true that the desire for moksha is not tivra, it is not intense, but it is there. enough is there for the person to pursue the knowledge in a way that it is the person's ultimate priority. It is not the immediate priority. Okay? If it is the immediate priority, then the person will just chuck everything and just go all out. And we don't have a judgment on this issue because we recognize that everyone has their own journey and that you can still live a life of karma yoga while pursuing the knowledge. Um, and it can be a very fulfilling life. So that is the stand that we take in Arsha Vidya. But that also doesn't mean that we will teach anything and everything to grahasthas. Okay, because people have to prove themselves um, uh, to learn certain things or for certain religious disciplines to be given. Like suppose I say, I want all of you to do Purascharana. Purascharana is a religious discipline. So, like for instance, if you have a certain mantra, if you have a mantra given by the Guru, then for every syllable you will chant 1 lakh times. So if you take Om Namah Shivaya, 5 syllables, it needs to be chanted 5 lakh times. Okay. Now suppose I give somebody this. Now if the person is a sannyasi, I will say, you chanted it, you finished this in 1 year or something, or maybe 6 months. But that means hours of chanting. Okay. So not possible. Not possible. If you're a grahastha. But the japa is very good for antakarna shuddhi and lot of things like that. So then one will say, okay, do this over 5 years. Okay, so therefore the approach with a grahastha, honestly, if I was teaching sannyasis, my approach will be very different. Forget about sannyasis. If, every group that I teach, it is different. Because you respond to what we think, that the group requires and what is most appropriate. So, so it's very important that you don't think you are less because you are a grahastha. When you come to our ashrams, when you see the respect that is given to sannyasis, you start to think, oh, okay, I also want to be something like this someday. And and then we also project, oh, very nice sannyasi, very nice, etc., etc. Doesn't matter. Okay, the fact that you have come to Vedanta, Vedanta has come to you, means huge punya, huge. And you make the most of your life. You live a life of clarity, and you live a life with you are clear about your priorities, that in time all the other things will drop off. You will see that happening, and it's a complete life. So yeah, okay, so I have taken up a lot of time. I am just checking with them. 20 minutes, is it good for Joao and Ashwini to talk about Mundaka Upanishad? Yeah, do what you can, okay? Okay.
So now?
Yes.
So let me just share something first. Okay? I feel a little bit nervous, so I want to share.
I'm very impressed that you went first. I'm very impressed with that.
I wanted to be the first, even if others were going to present today, because if I would go second, I wouldn't pay any attention to what the first one said because of being nervous. Yeah. So I always prefer to go first. Also, sometimes I will say the words in English because I'm not
yes, of course,
very familiar with some Sanskrit words, but I'll do what I can. So for the introduction, Upakrama, we chose mantras number 3 and 4 in the first Mundaka first section. Actually, I think that mainly mantra number 4, because that's where Angira states that he will that there are two types of knowledge, paravidya and aparavidya, which is what he will elaborate later in the rest of the Upanishad. But the question that takes to number 4 is also looks like very important. So we put both mantras as the introduction, and the conclusion, the last mantra of the
Okay,
Upanishad.
can I just interrupt?
Yes.
What is the question?
The question is, what is that thing that knowing it, you know all the rest? He's asking about what is his nature, what is Brahman, what is the ultimate reality, which shows readiness of the student to learn. Well, but about that I will also talk later in the praising section. Okay. And the last, I think that in the Sadhana Panchakam book, it's written that conclusion and introduction should be in harmony. I don't know if it was said in a class or if it's written there. I don't think it's if here there is a perfect harmony in it, but we chose the last one, mantra 11 of the last section, because the prior verses were talking mostly about the palam of the knowledge, and here it states this is satyam, referring not the satyam the value, I think, but this is the truth, the paramarthika satyam. So concluding that what he taught now is the truth about the question that was asked in the beginning. And also there is a reference to the sampradaya, the parampara, salutation to the seers of Brahman, which has some harmony with the beginning of the Upanishad, which talks about the sampradaya as well, that the teaching started in Brahmaji, then to Atharva, Angir, Satyavaha, Angiras. So it seems to be in harmony with the ends of the Upanishad. And that is what we chose for Upasamhara, the conclusion. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then there is this Apurvata section, uniqueness. Well, many verses, many mantras of the Upanishad talk about Brahmavidya, which is in fact what is unique in this knowledge. Actually, Apurvata, from what I understood, what's written is something that we cannot get from another Pramanas, something that makes this Upanishad unique. And I would say that many things we cannot get from another Pramanas, not only Brahmavidya, but also details like about the creation, about going to Svarga, or the working or not working of the rituals. So I chose a couple of verses just to cover all these topics which are not revealed by another Pramanas. And for example, number 6, Mundaka 1, section 1, number 6, it says, I will say in English, it says that Brahman is that which is not the object of sense of perception, which is unborn, eternal, which becomes many, which is all pervasive, which is the cause of all beings. So basically, we don't have a way to have this information based on our vision or inference or anything. So this should be taken as a mantra for the Apurvata section. Also in the third section, in the third Mundaka, first section, mantra number 8, there is this is a mantra that states that the knowledge is not get by another pramanas. It says the self is not grasped by the eyes or by words, by other sense organs, by religious disciplines or rituals. So I think that the mantra itself is not saying something unique, but it's like the definition of the Apurvata, the definition of what the pramana should be. So we also included this one here. Then, for example, number 8, mantra number 8, it gives a summary about the creation. From that Brahman, the unmanifest is born. From the unmanifest, Hiranyagarbha is born, and so on, which is something that we also cannot know through another Paramanas. Also, in the first Mundaka, section 2, mantra number 1, it's written mantra number about rituals. All the rituals which the sages saw in the Vedas are true, and if you perform them regularly, you will have these results. It's something that we cannot get through another Paramanas, but it says in the Upanishad. Also in number 3, that the person who does not perform the ritual properly will not get results. Here it said that the Agnihotra ritual destroys all the 7 worlds, meaning that it does not get results, I think. So I would say it's the same topic about rituals, and that we cannot get this information through another Brahmanas. And I think, and that's it for this Apurvata section. Oof. Then Upapati, logic. I have lots of doubts regarding this section, but also Ashwani helped a lot explaining what it means. We chose mainly the examples that are given in the Upanishad, the examples of the spiders, trees, plants, hair, and the sparks. Because, for example, in Mantra 6, there is given the definition of Brahman as the source of everything, that everything comes out of Brahman, that Brahman is that which becomes many, and which pervades everything. So from this definition, questions may arise, that for example, how is it possible, how can Brahman be the intelligent and material cause of everything? And so the Upanishad explains it by logic through some examples that we have in the world. That the spider takes the web out of itself, plants, the same thing regarding the earth, that sparks, lots of sparks come from the same fire. So that's some logic that we can, examples that we can find in our day. So the mantras that we took is 117, 7 mantra of the first section, which has lots of examples, and the second section, second Mundaka, first section, first verse is the mantra about the sparks and the fire. Okay, and then we have Arthavada, praise or highlights. And in the beginning, we chose mantra number 1, because in the beginning looks like the knowledge itself is being praised. It's written, he, Brahmaji, taught the knowledge of Brahman, which is the most exalted among all forms of knowledge. Then the verse that we chose for the introduction, number 3, mantra number 3, also is praising the importance of the readiness of the students. In the beginning, it's written Shaunaka, the famous householder. I didn't know this. In Sanskrit, it is Mahashalaha. And I wouldn't get it, but it's written in the book that Mahashalaha indicates someone who has done a lot of rituals and who lived a life of dharma and so on. So it's like praising the qualification of the student should have. And also regarding disqualification in Mundaka 3, section 2, mantra 10, it also states that one must teach this Brahma Vidya only to those people who do their duties, who study the Veda, etc., etc., showing that the readiness of the student is something important for him to be taught. In the second Mundaka, second section, Brahman is being praised. In the first mantra, it says Brahman is self-shining, etc. It is the most exalted goal. All the worlds and their indwellers have their being in it. In the seventh, the self is all knowledge in general and knows everything in detail. It is his glory in these worlds. And in 11 is that mantra of that we hear in the puja, Natatra Suryo, showing that nothing lights up Brahman, but everything shines after him. And that's the mantras we chose for Arthavada. Then in Abhyasa, repetition, a lot of mantras are saying and showing that Brahman is both material cause and intelligent cause of the creation.
Just 1 second, yeah. I want to go back to Arthavada. This I didn't understand the reason for choosing Natatra Suryo Bhati. Why do you consider that as an exaggeration or as a praise? Because it's the truth.
Yes. Well, if it's the truth, maybe it's not exaggeration, but it sounded to me that even when you say something to someone, like, I don't know, for example, if you think that someone is beautiful, you say you are praising it, even if it's the truth. So I thought this one was a beautiful one and worth to be stated as praising, because it says that everything shines after Brahman and nothing can throw light on it, showing the greatness, showing the greatness of Brahman and of the teaching.
Okay. Continue. Yeah.
Okay. So about Abhyasa, the repetition, a lot of verses about Brahman being the material and intelligent cause. Some I already stated. The examples, the 7 in the mantra number 7 in the first section. Also number 8, because it talks about the creation, and it says, from that Brahman the unmanifest is born, from the unmanifest Hiranyagarbha is born. It also shows that Brahman is the cause of everything. Mantra number 9, from that Brahman, Hiranyagarbha and all names and forms and the food are born, showing also it as the material cause. Then in the second Mundaka first section, most of the verses regarding this topic, because this section talks mostly about it, about Brahmana's Sat. Mantra number 1, varieties of beings are born from that Brahman. Number 3, from this Brahman are born prana, minds, all senses and organs of action, etc. Number 4, this Virat is indeed born of Brahman. Number 5, from that Brahman is born the heaven. Thus, varieties of beings are born out of Brahman. Number 6, from that Brahman are born the Ruk mantras, Sama mantras, Yajur mantras, etc. 7, from that Brahman alone are born varieties of devas, celestials, human beings, animals, etc. Number 8, from that Brahman are born the 7 apertures on the face, 7 flames, etc. Number 9, from this Brahman, all oceans, hills, and mountains are born. And number 10, the world is Brahman alone. So we chose these mantras because it's repeating Brahman as the material cause and intelligent cause of the creation. Then also in this is not so repeated so many times, but I think that also that moksha is not to be gained through action. It's also repeated in a few verses in first Mundaka, second section. For example, mantra number 7, those deluded ones who rejoice the karma is the means for moksha, gain old age and death again and again, showing that action is not the means for moksha. Number 8, stepped in ignorance and error and thinking themselves to be learned and knowers of the self, these deluded people are constantly afflicted. Also means that karma is not the means for moksha, especially because later the palam of one of the palam that will be taught is about this constantly being cheerful. So if people are constantly afflicted, it means that their actions are not the means for moksha. Number 9, because they do not know the self due to their longing for worldly ends, they are constantly afflicted and fall from heaven when their punya is exhausted. Number 10, those who consider the performance of rituals to be exalted do not know the right means of moksha. And number 12, moksha, which is not created, cannot be gained through action. So, summary for all the others. Also, in 4 mantras in Mundaka 2, section 2, it's repeating Brahmana's chit, Brahmana's pervading the mind, which is manifested in the mind. Number 1, Brahman is self-shining, very near, and always manifests in the Buddhi. Number 2, all the worlds and their indwellers have their being in it. That is prana, speech, and mind. Number 6, being born in various forms, this self exists within the mind. And number 7, 8, the self evident abides in the space in the Buddhi, which is conscious. The self has the mind as upadhi, which leads the subtle body. It is the basis for the Buddhi. So a few mantras that is showing that Brahman pervades the mind, Brahman as consciousness as chit. And also in this section, a few verses showing that may you know yourself to be this very Brahman, showing that this what's the name? This aikyam, right? Aikyam between Atma and Brahman, between myself and Brahman. May you know this Brahman, and may you know this Brahman to be yourself. For example, in number 1, may you know this Brahman in the end of the mantra. Number 3, the example of the bow, the arrow, and the target being Brahman. May you strike the target of Brahman with a mind that is committed. Number 4, also the same example, one should become one with that Brahman. Number 5, may you know that non-dual Brahman to be the very Atman. So all seem to be repeating the same idea, that may you know this truth. Okay. And then the last one, Palam. Palam is stated mostly in the second section of third Mundaka, but also in 2 other verses, in 2 other mantras. In second Mundaka, second section, mantra number 9, When that Brahman is recognized, all doubts go away and all his karmas get exhausted. Mundaka 3, section 1, mantra 3. When one sees oneself, that person gives up punya papa, he attains oneness with Brahman. And then most of the verses in second section, I will just point out the parts of the mantras that say something regarding the palam. Those who are discriminative and are free cross this samsara of repeated births, mantra number 1. Number 5, they become satisfied due to this knowledge, free from raga, dveshas, and are naturally cheerful. They become everything. Mantra number 6, they are completely free from the sense of limitation and they resolve into Brahman at the time of the death of the subtle body. And number 7, the ahankara and its karma become one with Brahman. Number 8, the example of the river that flows to the ocean and loses its namarupas. Just as the rivers flowing in various directions disappear in the ocean, giving up their names and forms, so too the knower of Atman becomes free from name and form and gains Brahman. And number 9, that person who knows that limitless Brahman becomes Brahman itself. And that's all. Fast.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Wonderful. I'm very, very happy and very impressed. So Ashwini and you both have worked on this, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, Ashwini, in our meeting, he told me most of the verses.
And he has chosen to not speak, or he's going to speak now?
He told me he doesn't like to speak English in the class, and then I wouldn't understand at least what he says.
Okay. So let me check. Ashwini, you want to say anything? Means अगर आपको हिंदी में भी कहना है, it's okay. Yeah. Oh.
आप सुन सकते हैं मुझे?
हाँ.
ओके. तो कुछ डिफरेंसेस हैं हमारे होमवर्क में, कुछ वर्सेस चेंज हैं. क्या मैं कुछ बोल सकता हूँ इसके होमवर्क के बारे में?
बिल्कुल. तो कोशिश करिए आप इंग्लिश में कहने के लिए and then हिंदी. Okay, so Joao, he may use some words in Hindi, but I'm sure you won't miss much. Okay? Yeah.
Okay. Actually, in introduction, I have added one more verse, that is first Mundaka's first section, third verse. There Sonka asked the question, by knowing which alone does everything become known. मैं अपना होमवर्क शेयर कर देता हूँ मैं स्वामी जी स्क्रीन पे. एक मिनट. तो यहाँ सोनक ने क्वेश्चन पूछा हुआ है, तो अंग्रेज जी आंसर करते हैं कि दो तरह की नॉलेज होती है जिसको आप गेन कर लोगे. एक पराविद्या होती है, एक दूसरी अपराविद्या. तो पराविद्या वो होती है जिससे आप ब्रह्म का ज्ञान प्राप्त कर लेते हैं. फिर कंक्लूजन में लास्ट मुंडक के सेकंड सेक्शन का लास्ट वर्स है, और उसके बाद अपूर्वता में मेनली इसमें जो इन्होंने बताया था वो बिल्कुल सही बताया है. तो मैं आगे बढ़ता हूँ. मैं रीजनिंग में भी इन्होंने ठीक बोला है. यहाँ अर्थवाद में स्वामी जी थोड़ी दिक्कत आई थी. तो पहले तो अर्थवाद में इन्होंने तो यहाँ पे सबसे पहले ब्रह्म विद्या को प्रेज किया गया है कि ये स्वयं ब्रह्मा जी ने इसको टीच किया था, और ये मोस्ट एग्जाल्टेड है सभी तरह की नॉलेज में, और उसके बाद ये एक परंपरा की तरह चलता चला आ रहा है. तो ये भी एक तरह से प्रेज हुई है ब्रह्म विद्या की. एक्चुअली ब्रह्म विद्या हम नॉलेज को प्रेज करते हैं, तो फिर उसको प्रेज करने के लिए हम इनडायरेक्टली कर्म है, कर्म को हम उसकी लिमिटेशंस को भी बताते हैं जो ये इनडायरेक्टली प्रेज होती है हमारी नॉलेज की, तो
Yeah.
जो भी
So
लिमिटेशंस
here,
होती है उसकी, कि
just
मैक्सिमम आप
one thing to add, in the Bhagavad Gita, you will see this a lot. This style that is used, which is you
जी
praise the one who is has a lifestyle of karma yoga,
हम्म,
who has the disposition,
जी
and you do ninda, you criticize the
हाँ,
one who does not have it.
जी जी
Okay, so you will see this throughout the Shastra.
जी
So the praise of the one, yes, okay, continue. हाँ.
तो इसको इनडायरेक्टली प्रेज किया जाता है नॉलेज को, इसलिए कर्म कर्म की लिमिटेशंस बताएंगे इसमें। और उसके बाद इसको तो मैक्सिमम ब्रह्मलोक तक आप पहुंच सकते हो, वहां पे भी आपको अल्टीमेटली नॉलेज ही गेन करनी पड़ेगी ब्रह्मा जी से। फिर ट्रू वर्ड्स का
हाँ, so this is a very important point. I just want Joao to also note that while Brahmaloka is praised by everyone, the limitation of Brahmaloka is pointed out that it is a temporary place. Okay, so here also there is some Arthavada being used. Okay, then
फिर टू वर्ड्स का एग्जांपल लिया गया था, उसमें एक संसारी होता है और एक आपका साक्षी होता है। तो एक कर्ता भोक्ता होता है, दूसरा साक्षी होता है। तो इससे भी आप बात इसमें कर्ता भोक्ता को बताया गया कि वो डिलूडेड होता है और वो उसको तकलीफ होती है, वो बार बार हेल्पलेस हो जाता है, बार बार सुख दुख भुगता रहता है, बार बार बर्थ एंड डेथ के साइकिल में फंसा रहता है। और जबकि जो दूसरा होता है वो जो साक्षी को जान लेता है, वो दुख से फ्री हो जाता है, फ्री फ्रॉम ग्रीफ। उसके बाद यूटिलिटी बताई गई कर्म की, कि इससे
one second, wait. So you are considering
जी
this in Arthavada, is it?
जी जी स्वामी जी जी।
No, this we cannot consider this in Arthavada. This is teaching. Yeah, this is teaching. We will not include these verses in Arthavada.
ओके,
Okay.
थैंक यू। उसके बाद यूटिलिटी बताई गई है कर्म की, कि इससे आप चित्त शुद्धि हो जाती है, तो उसके बारे में ये वर्सेस ली गई हैं। एंड उसके बाद अर्थवाद में नेचर ऑफ ब्रह्म बताया गया, जिससे कि स्टूडेंट ज्यादा एफर्ट पुट करे इसको जानने के लिए, नॉलेज अटेंड करने के लिए ज्यादा एफर्ट पुट करे, इसलिए ये नेचर ऑफ ब्रह्म को इन्होंने डिस्कस किया गया है। तो अनबॉर्न है ये, विदाउट एनी एट्रीब्यूट्स।
Okay, one second. I didn't understand the connection, Ashwini. How are you saying ki effort, like the student has to make an effort?
एक्चुअली जरूरी नहीं है कि जब टीचिंग दी जाए तो उसी टाइम सभी स्टूडेंट समझ लें उस चीज को। तो उसके लिए ब्रह्म का जब नेचर एक्सप्लेन किया जाता है, तो ये एक्सप्लेनेशन में आ रही हैं सारी चीजें। तो इस वजह से ऐड किया मैंने यहाँ पे इसको। जो
तो ये पॉइंट कौन सा है? दिस इज अंडर व्हाट यू आर सेइंग? दिस इज
अर्थवाद के अंदर है।
दिस इज डेफिनेटली नॉट अर्थवादा.
ओके,
Definitely not. Okay. So Arthavada is always, this is an important point, always in addition to the teaching. यहाँ पे जब हम बोल रहे अग्राह्यम अदृश्यम, the words, lakshana words that are being used to reveal Brahman, that is teaching, that is unfolding the nature of Brahman. So that we cannot call Arthavada. Arthavada, yes.
तो फिर इसको कहाँ पर रखा जाएगा?
ये एक्चुअली अपूर्वता में आएगा।
अच्छा।
It is unique because this is what you will not know from anywhere else.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and also it will link to the introduction and the conclusion.
Okay.
Because all this talk about this imperishable Brahman Aksharam is being spoken of later. Okay, so your start is like, see, because anybody, when you are analyzing a text, okay, you may say it is about doing rituals. Sapta Jivha. Okay, there is that whole verse. Sapta Jiva, Sapta Prana, this, that. So anybody who looks at it with that lens will say everybody must do lot of rituals. You do homas. Okay, who can tell them no? No, that's not what is to be done. You have to look at introduction, you have to look at conclusion, and then accordingly all the things that you all are speaking about. Yeah. So हाँ, okay, then continue.
उसके बाद साधना बताई गई हैं जो कि ओम का ध्यान आप करिए, और इससे आपका माइंड साफ, मेडिटेशन से आप माइंड को प्रिपेयर करिए, साफ करिए। एग्जाम्पल भी दिया गया था, ओम को वो बोला गया, और उसके बाद ब्रह्म को टारगेट बोला गया, तो माइंड को एरो बोला गया। तो ये साधना को डिस्कस किया गया माइंड को प्रिपेयर करने के लिए। और इसके बाद ये ट्रुथ, स्पीकिंग द ट्रुथ, कांस्टेंट रिलीजियस डिसिप्लिन, मास्टरी ओवर द सेंस एंड क्लियर नॉलेज, राइट एफर्ट, फ्री फ्रॉम इम्प्योरिटी, ट्रूथफुलनेस। तो ये सब साधना बताई गई हैं इसमें। तो ये अर्थवाद में ही मैंने रखी हुई हैं। और बात वर्षे
So sadhanas may not come in Arthavada. Okay? May not come.
Okay.
Yeah. So also here it's important that we don't have to fit all the verses into these 6 categories.
Okay.
Huh? Because I can understand that may have been that you wonder where does this come? You know, so we will try to fit it so into the closest category. We don't need to do that. Yeah.
Then वर्शिप ऑफ ज्ञानी, आप मटेरियल गेन्स के लिए भी कर सकते हैं और स्पिरिचुअल गेन्स के लिए भी कर सकते हैं। तो उसको डिस्कस किया गया है 2 वर्सेस में। तो इससे भी ज्ञानी को प्रेज कर रहे हैं, तो एक्चुअली हम ज्ञान को ही प्रेज कर रहे हैं। तो ये अर्थवाद में ही रखा है मैंने इसको।
Yeah, this is a very good point, that you have said that when you're praising the jnani, you're actually praising the knowledge, the jnana. Very good point. Yes. Okay, let me ask you counter questions. One sec, wait. This is both to Joao and you. That the person crosses the samsara. Okay. Maybe this is exaggeration. Maybe this is Arthavada.
Actually,
what do you think?
Actually, samsara means ultimately आपको दुख प्राप्त होता है संसार में, क्योंकि सुख भी अगर आता है तो उसके बाद में एब्सेंस आती है तो आपको दुख होता है। तो एक्चुअली फिर वो दुख से आप मुक्त तभी हो पाओगे, दुख से मुक्ति की बात करेगी जो एक ज्ञान के थ्रू ही आपको मिलता है।
So is it Arthavada?
नहीं, एक्चुअली इट इज ज्ञान फलम, ये ज्ञान का फल होता है।
Very good. Okay, because somebody may say, oh, this, the Shastra exaggerates to highlight a point. So the person crosses samsara. How can you cross samsara? Not possible. Okay, somebody can raise this argument. Okay, so here this is because this is Shruti Vakya, this is a mantra. Mantra seen by a rishi. This is knowledge. So we will not consider this as Arthavada. Okay, Arthavada understand exaggeration through the form of praise or criticism. Yeah, okay, this is the truth. Okay, then
उसके बाद रिपीटेशन आया हुआ है, तो इसमें मेनली एक आइडिया को कई बार रिपीट किया गया है कि ब्रह्मन इज बोथ इंटेलिजेंट कॉज एज वेल एज मटेरियल कॉज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। ये आइडिया काफी सबसे ज्यादा टाइम यही आइडिया रिपीट हुआ है।
Why? Let me ask you, why is this being repeated so many times? We should get it right. One time is there, it's fine. Yeah. Why repetition?
To form a deep impression.
Okay. Tell me more.
I don't know.
Okay, ठीक है, continue.
Okay. And then लास्ट में इसके फ्रूट्स डिस्कस किए गए, रिजल्ट्स ब्रह्म विद्या के। resolves the knot of ignorance, all doubts go away, all his karmas get exhausted, becomes free from grief, gives up punya papa, attains oneness with Brahman, revels in himself, all desires dissolve, means no rebirth, और जीवन मुक्ति हो जाती जब तक जीवन रहता है, एंड उसके बाद विधि मुक्ति उसको मिल जाती है आफ्टर द डेथ. एंड अहंकार एंड its karma become one with Brahman, becomes free from
One
name and
second,
form
one
and gains
second.
Brahman.
Wait. You are saying Ahankara becomes one with Brahman. How? Through a process of karma? How it is becoming like this?
अहंकार एंड कर्म, मुझे लगता है स्वामी जी यहाँ पर कर्म को मोस्ट इन्होंने नाम रूप से, यानी ये बॉडी माइंड सेंस कॉम्प्लेक्स है हमारा, एंड अदर जो चीजें हैं उसको उसको रेफर किया गया, ऑब्जेक्ट्स को बोला गया है यहाँ पे.
So it becomes one. अभी वो अब्रह्मन है, फिर
अभी
थोड़ी देर
अभी
बाद वो ब्रह्मन हो जाएगा.
नहीं ऐसा नहीं, अभी भी ब्राह्मण है, बट अभी हमें नॉलेज नहीं है उस चीज की. वो डिस्कवर हो जाएगी नॉलेज, तो वो तब बनने समय एक्चुअली पता लग जाएगी इनकी. अभी वी डोंट नो.
So ahankara I is mistaken as ahankara. So I,
जी
that is Brahman, I make a mistake
जी
about it. Correct?
जी जी.
Okay, there is no becoming
ये
here, huh? There is no becoming.
हाँ, ये ट्रांसलेशन था ऐसा ही, तो वही लिख दिया.
Okay.
एंड बस यही सब था.
Fantastic. I am so impressed. Super.
थैंक यू.
Very nice. So note the corrections I have pointed out while you were saying. This is an excellent
जी
first attempt. Both of you, we are just very, you'll have done a very thorough job. And I want to ask you all, how did you, in the process of doing this, is there anything that became a little more clear to you?
एक स्वामी जी एक ऑर्डर पता लग गया है कि आप चीज़ों को कैटेगराइज करना सीख जाते हो. कौन सी चीज़ कहीं पे डिस्कस हो रही है, उसको रिपीट किया जा रहा है तो बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, तभी उसको रिपीट किया जा रहा है. तो इस तरह से मतलब कहाँ बेसिक आइडियाज कहाँ पर डिस्कस हो रहे हैं, जैसे अर्थवाद हो गया तो वहाँ पर, और जो उपपत्ति पार्ट हो गया, जो एनालिसिस जहाँ पे हो रही, तो ये सबसे ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट आइडियाज इसी में डिस्कस किए जा रहे हैं मोस्टली. तो ये सब
Yeah,
चीज़ें पता लग.
that logic is always used as a support. It is always used as a support to the Vakya of the Shruti. Okay, so that's one thing that you understood, and where everything fits in. Huh? Okay, ठीक है.
जी जी.
Very good. Anything else? Joao, you want to say anything about your experience of doing the Shadlinga Vichara?
Yes. Well, for me, it was this week's. It was very stressful to do the work, because I was very afraid that I wouldn't finish on time. When I reached the end of first Mundaka, Ashwani already had finished all the homework, and so I thought that I was so late doing it. But then in the end, you know what I felt is, well, I've studied all the Mundaka here, not offline, but I saw the classes. But I think that now I feel ready to study it again, because now I have like an overview of the text. I can understand the sections that I don't know. For example, I can understand that in the beginning we have the introduction, slight definition of Brahman and the spider example. Then we have rituals being mentioned and its limitations. Then in the second Mundaka, I know that it's the basis of the teaching as I don't know if it's correct, but Sat and Chit in the first and second parts, and in the third Mundaka you have the Palam. So in my mind things got organized, something that I don't think they were before.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. See, when we are exposed to the teaching, we are actually going on a trek. Okay, so you are going on a trek, and then you are smelling the flowers, and you're stopping to admire the valley, and then you're having a dip in the river. So it's like that. So this is what you all have done, is little taken like a helicopter view. Okay, And this is only very advanced level students can do this. Okay, because I will not suggest this ever initially, because the tendency to categorize will be there. Now, what is wrong with, there's nothing wrong with categorizing where it is appropriate. But here, sometimes you say, Acha, haan, oh, repetition, oh, okay, repetition. You switch off. Okay, so this thing is being repeated. Oh, okay, I know what is being said. But to appreciate, it's like, like a rasika, when you understand little classical music or anything, you enjoy some good food, then you are able to appreciate how in different ways something is being repeated. Or so many things are spoken of in the introduction, but what is the key? It makes your thinking very sharp. So this is required. I will not encourage you all to do a lot of this, because this is just one-time exposure, but it will sit with you so that you're, from time to time, you have to take the helicopter view. Suppose you take only the helicopter view, you can never enjoy a dip in the river. You will not enjoy the fragrance of the flowers. So our approach is primarily that we unfold the teaching, and that's what we want to be exposed to most of the time, and occasionally take a helicopter view. A lot of people take the helicopter view, academics particularly, say, oh, Mundaka, no, okay, it is talking about two birds. So there is an illusion that you know. You don't. I mean, actually, the person definitely does not know. But because of familiarity of words, you fitted them into categories. So therefore, people, think that they understand. Our attempt in Vedanta is to have a mind that is very deconditioned, that does not categorize. Because the moment you categorize, you have limited something. And for every other learning, it's important. But for Vedanta, the more deconditioned your mind is, the more you will understand, because consciousness, to understand, very subtle. I'm not saying you're difficult to understand, but your true nature is difficult to understand. Okay, so I want you all to have that perspective very clearly, that occasional helicopter view is okay. Otherwise, what will happen, people say this. I've heard people say this about Puja Swamiji's teaching. So he's like the greatest of teachers, teacher of teachers. And people will say, I don't know, Puja Swamiji should give us a summary. So why he does not summarize the Upanishad? One class summary. And the reason he doesn't do it is because people are struggling with uncertainty. And they're like, okay, fine. Now I put this in this category. Okay, fine. It's just the illusion of knowing. You actually don't know. So the scenic route, that's the way to actually learn. Because every word, the arthas puranam, it is revealing to you. And that's how we have to take that approach. So excellent. I'm very, very happy with your both your sincerity, your commitment. Ashwini though even sent it to me by email a few days ago, so I was very happy with it, and very, very well done. Okay, so clap again for both of you. Very happy, very happy. Yeah, nice. Okay, so today class is extended a little more. So what shall we do? Anyway, let's say Purnamadav, and then we will see. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay. Then you